story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. This is going to be a little bit different on my next 5 videos. It's a tournament that I personally played in. The 136th annual New York State Championship, played in Albany, New York, and upstate. Albany's the capital of New York State. I play in it every year on the holiday weekend, the end of August, early September. This is round 1. I'm in the under 1500 section. Mr. Murphy is white and I'm black. Mr. Murphy, if any of you watched my videos prior to this, my Boardwalk Open, I think it was a gentleman I played and had a really good game. He had a good attack going. I stopped it. I ended up winning his rook, and I got like 12 seconds left on my clock, and he had a perpetual on me, so we drew. So I was upset. So I recognized him right away when we sat down, and he recognized me, so that was kind of funny. Anyway, I've got the board flipped because I played black. It's going to be a ready. I'm black. My opponent, Mr. Murphy, is white. Let's go the first few moves here. E5. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm doing pretty good here. He's pretty backed up. I got a nice center. Knights are out. Bishop. And if you look at that there, look at how backed up he is. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I castle E4. He tries to break things up. I just leave the tension and go bishop here. Now, I've got my French 13 computer on off screen. And I'm doing okay. I'm almost half a pawn up in score, which is really good being black. I'm going to do a little bit more talking on what I was thinking mentally and emotionally. I'm a lot more intimate with this game because I played in it. So if I can share that with you guys and hopefully learn anything from it, that's why I do these videos. One, because I love chess, but just as important, videos for us average players is maybe help you guys with your game. He went C3. Computer calls for H3 or E takes. He went C3. He didn't want this knight to go here, obviously, because of the fact this was pinned, but it really wouldn't have mattered, because I would have retaken with this. He would have taken with this knight, would have been better for him. Anyway, I went queen to D7, which is one of the top 2 computer moves, so I'm pretty happy about that. And he went queen to B3, which really surprised me. He wanted to, some reason that pin was just annoying the crap out of him, and he just needed to get rid of it. Now, this isn't a very good move. I probably should have played D takes E, and this continued on. I went knight to A5. It threatens his queen, and it also, now, as they say, not on the rim is dim, but not really much he can do. He's got to move the queen, which he does, of course, to C2. Now, the computer gives us a question mark. I didn't think it was that bad. I went bishop to D6. And white picked up a half a point. Now white's got an advantage. I didn't think that was that bad, but the computer wanted me to go knight back. Then after E takes, knight to C4, with basically an even game. I went bishop to D6. And he went B4, kicking the knight. I moved the knight back. He went A4. Now, he's trying to attack me on the queen side. Well, there's not really much there. All the action is going to be on the king side here. So let's see how this works out. I played D takes. He played knight takes. I played knight takes. He played D takes. What to do, what to do. Rook F to D8 is what it calls for, but I went queen to E6, which was the second choice. I wanted that queen off of this file. Once this bishop moves or this rook comes over, it's going to be pinned. I really didn't want it. Plus, it's not really doing much there. And I didn't go to E7. In case he pushed, my knight would have nowhere to go. He went bishop E3. I played my rook over. He pushed the knight. Now, knight to A5. Now, that's not the end of the world, that space now, because this knight could sit very well right here, and the queen's guarding it. and there's no lights. The light guard bishop is way over here, so I really can't harass that knight. So it actually works out there. Now, it gives him a question mark on this move. I want him to go knight to g5. He went rook f to c1, and it gave him a question mark. I didn't think it was really that bad, because he wants to go here. The computer wanted him to go knight and then queen to e7. After that, of course, it says knight to b3 for black, and I didn't see it. And it wanted me to go knight to b3, and I didn't even see it. I was concerned with the fact that this knight might come here to chase my queen, and my queen would have to go to this square. And then the bishop would harass it. I really didn't want to put up with all of that. So I went knight to c4. He went bishop to d2. He wanted to keep that bishop, at least didn't want him on this square, because when he retakes with this pawn, these two double pawns here would be tough. I played knight takes, got rid of his bishop right away, get the bishop pair. He played knight takes, and I played bishop c5. Now there's no dark squared bishop to harass my bishop, and I think he sits very well right here on the white king. When knight f3, it calls for a6 to break it up. I decided to go f6 instead. I just wanted to reinforce that pawn. I've got a small advantage here, but I'm sitting pretty comfortable. It wasn't nearly as crazy as the game him and I played in the Boardwalk Open, but it's still an okay game. I got a small advantage according to the computer. Rook to d1, rook a to d8. He traded, and he kept, so I went along with it. But I went rook to d6 instead. That way, if he took my rook, I could take back with the queen and own the file. He played rook, I played queen takes. Now, I really thought about this for a while. Well, I should take with the c-pawn. It's very close in the computer. Actually, queen takes, pawn takes, or bishop takes, you're all close in score. The top one by a little is queen takes, and that's what I did. And then he went queen to d2. And I was a little surprised. Now, I probably shouldn't have traded queens. Bishop to b6 or king to f7. Because you know the queens are going to come off here shortly to get the king up in the center of the board for the endgame. I traded anyway. Knight takes. And then I got the computer move, and I was really, really surprised. I didn't know what to do. I went bishop to d1. Start going after his pawns. Thought to myself, okay, let's go. Let's get him. He went a5. It's got me going bishop a4, which I probably should have done. I went bishop b2. I went the other way. And then he brought his bishop there. If I had gone b6 like the computer wanted, after a6, bishop a4, then I sit very well. Even if he pushes this pawn and has the knight protected, this bishop could turn around and make the knight move, and that would have been curtains. Anyway, after bishop b2, bishop f1. This is bishop h5, should have been considered, but I thought that would have taken him out of the action, so I just traded and king takes. Now the game is basically even. I had somewhat of a up a pawn advantage, and I kind of blew that. So I thought to myself, okay, it's the first round, you know, you're a little nervous. So I went king, he went king. I'm moving my king up. He went f3. I went bishop g1. Tidy advantage for me. I'm trying to go after his pawns. I'm trying to use that advantage of the bishop to make him move all his pawns and get him in bad spots. He went h3. I went bishop c5. He went king to d3. What to do? What to do? You know, these endgames are tough for me. I went f5. I figured, how the heck with it. Pawn takes, king takes. I want to get my king up in the action. Between the combination of my bishop harassing his pawns and my king coming up, I thought I had somewhat of a chance. But right now is a small advantage for white. He went knight to e4. And I moved my bishop. Now the computer, I thought I had a pretty good position here. But unfortunately, it's almost a point advantage for white. But I thought it was okay. He went king to c4. Obviously, he's going after my queenside pawns. And I should have went g5. And I didn't. I went bishop to e3. Now, the weird part is, that's the computer's second choice. It wasn't that horrible, but it gave me a question mark. King to d5 he went. Now he's coming after my pawns. I'm getting a little nervous now. It says he wants me to play g5 again. And the worst of the three top choices are moving my bishop back to g1, and that's what I did. Now he's got over a 2-point advantage on me. I'm in trouble. He goes c4. Here come the pawns. c5, or excuse me, g5. c5, here he comes. And I'm not happy right now, to be honest with you. I was pretty upset. Here we are, the first round, New York State Championship. The guy that should have beat that, he stole a draw from me. When I say steal, I don't mean that in a bad way. I would have done the same thing. He's got a 4-point advantage right now. The game is over. I went h5. And this is a move that he missed. And it's hard to find. Pause the video now and see if you can find it. It's a move that I didn't see at all. And that's knight to d6. Check. If pawn takes, and I can't stop his pawn from queening. But instead, right now he's got almost a 6-point advantage. He goes b6. And it drops right down to almost a draw now. I dodged the bullet. These things happen, you know. I've been on the receiving end as well. I got lucky. I played 8 takes. And knight to d6 check is there again. And he doesn't use it. He goes c6 for whatever reason. He's probably thinking that if I play pawn takes, this pawn will queen. Not quite though, of course, because once that takes, king takes, he figures he's got them all locked up. B takes, king to b5. He's thinking, I got it made. But not really. Bishop here says everything. Now he's in trouble. Knight to c3. g4. H takes. H takes. And this is where Mr. Murphy is white resigned. Give you an idea. After H takes. F takes. King takes. He can't stop both. He can't stop all the pawns. I just have too many. This king can nurse this pawn down. We'll have to give up the knight. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, folks, that's my game from round 1 of the New York State, I should say the 136th New York State Championship. I felt pretty good. You know, the moves are there for everybody. And we all miss moves, and we all see moves. And so they pushed through the first round. Anyway, folks, 4 more games to go for me here. But this is round 1. And I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Cordisco's Corner Store is hosting its 5th annual chess championship. The Broome County Chess Championship Francis Cordisco Memorial got started over the weekend. Organizer John Cordisco says it's an opportunity for chess fans, both experts and newcomers, to test their level of skill. There are 2 sections depending on level of play, and both have cash prizes for the top 3 winners.
We draw some really good players. There's some pretty good players in this county, and it's a very high quality chess compared to the number of people in the area. It's a great tournament, and I encourage people to come down and just to watch if they want.
The second and final round is this Sunday from 10 until 4, and it takes place at Cordisco's Corner Store at 308 Shenango Street in Binghamton.